What up, YouTube? It's your boy Dan. You guys already know what it is. Most of y'all been with me for most of the day, so it's your boy Dan, a Lakers fan. Man, Lonzo Ball, is in LA. He's gonna stay in LA. He's a Laker, guys. Our future is so bright. We got Lonzo Ball, perfect guy who fits this kind of team we're building for him, Brandon Ingram, and the young core. Looks like Paul George trade is not gonna happen. I said if we draft Lonzo, that means we're keeping him. If we draft Josh Jackson, maybe this trade goes down. Well, we drafted Lonzo, thank God. Not trading the second pick. He's a part of the future. Rob Pelinka, everybody's happy. He's the guy they wanted all along. If you guys been watching the press conference and everything, he's who we had the whole time. Like I said, everything else was smoke screens. They were just trying to make sure that Boston or whoever was before us wouldn't take him. I feel like we got the best player in the draft, guys. Maybe that's just me being a Laker fan, but I just feel like this guy will make all of his teammates better. He's one of these Jason Kidd, Steve Nash type guys. Just one of those special kind of talents, and I'm really hyped for him. As far as for the whole draft, I'm hyped at what Magic and Rob Pelinka did. Sure, they didn't draft Jordan Bell, who I really wanted, but they got some pretty good prospects, man. Kyle Kuzma is very versatile. He's a small forward who can play power forward. He's 6 foot, I believe, 9 or 10. He can stretch the floor, so he's going to bring some versatility. We got Josh Hart, who's a champion. He's a winner. He's a leader. And he's going to be able to fill in a lot of the void of what D'Angelo Russell trade that officially went official tonight. It officially went through. That trade left a void, right? We needed a scoring guard, and that's what Josh Hart is. He's going to come in right away, and I think he's going to be effective from day one. So that was a steal of the draft, in my opinion. He was up there with Frank Mason in my list, But this draft was crazy, guys. It was one of the craziest ones I've seen. So many trades. Magic and Rob were able to pull off their magic again. They were able to trade back a couple of spots and also land the 42nd pick, in which we took Thomas Bryant from Indiana. This guy is a big guy. His wingspan is 7'3", and he's just gonna clog up the lane. He's gonna bring that defense and interior presence we need at the backup position. So he does have to earn his roster spot, though, since he is a second-round pick. So it'll be very interesting to see what happens in Summer League. Speaking of Summer League, July 7, guys, keep it locked. I'm going to be recapping the first game of the Summer League. I can't wait. That's the first game. That's actually, I'm looking forward more to July 7th than I am the 1st of July in free agency, because like Rob said, they're going to be very conservative with their cap space, right? They're probably going to hand out like a overpriced one-year deal. That way guys take it, maybe like 12 million, 14 million for like a above average player, just to make sure that they take a one-year deal, conserve the cap space, maybe with a second-year option for the team so we can decline it and have that cap space for 2018. But the bottom line is that we drafted really well, guys. If I had to give us a grade, I'd give us a B+. Only reason I don't give us an A is we didn't draft the guys that I wanted. I really like Frank Mason, Jordan Bell, Dwayne Bacon. We didn't get none of those guys. But B+ still solid. Magic and Rob have a vision. I trust them 100%. Now, like I said, this was one of the craziest drafts, and not just for the Lakers, but for other teams as well, man. The Minnesota Timberwolves pulled off a hell of a deal to land Jimmy Butler and steal him away from Boston, which leads me to believe that now Boston's going to pursue Indiana really hard. Maybe that has something to do with why Paul George wasn't traded today, because now they have more teams going after the last superstar, which is Paul George, right? Jimmy Butler got traded. So very, very interesting to see what happens in the next couple of days. Indiana said, and I quote, "We'll pull the trigger when we feel the deal's right." So there's going to be a trade. Who knows when? It might be right before training camp. It could be, during the preseason. It could be at any point. It could be tomorrow, for all I know. I did see the tweet of Paul George he had a moving truck there in his house, so they might have already told him they're going to trade him by the end of the weekend or something. But I have a feeling we might wake up and find out that if it's not to the Lakers, to somebody else, but there was a deal for Paul George. So we'll see what happens. But the bottom line is, man, I'm excited, especially for Summer League. I want to see what Lonzo Ball could do right next to Brandon Ingram. Lonzo Ball is saying all the right things. He said he thinks Brandon Ingram's going to be a superstar. They're going to love him. He's very unselfish, Lonzo Ball. All his teammates spoke highly of him at UCLA, even with his dad being obnoxious or whatever. By the way, you got to love LeVar, man. He's so cocky. Well, I can't wait to see what how he's going to go on ESPN telling everybody that he told him so and all this stuff. It's going to be fun to watch. But yeah, guys, tell me what you guys thought of the draft. The craziest thing, like I said, was the Jimmy Butler trade. The Sacramento Kings drafted really well, so shouts out to them. The New York Knicks took Frank Nikita. I thought they should have took Dennis Smith. There was a couple of surprises. I mean, I didn't think that. I did not think that. What's his name out of Kentucky? Man, I always forget players' names. God, I didn't think this one kid from Kentucky was gonna slip so far down. You guys know who I'm talking about. Not De'Aaron Fox, the other one, the other backcourt mate. I did not think he was gonna slip to the number 11th pick. Right? That's crazy. That was a big surprise to me. Also, I didn't think Bam Adebayo was going to, I didn't think Bam Adebayo was going to go to the Miami Heat at 14. I thought they reached a little bit, but hey, maybe he showed something at the workouts. Again, I'm not an executive, even though I should be. Nah, I'm just playing. I'm not an executive, guys, but at the same time, I trust the executives. They're going to do what's right for them and their team. Sometimes we think they're reaching. Sometimes they are. Most of the times they are. But sometimes, like that one kid, Thon Maker out of Milwaukee, they took him at 11th. He wasn't even projected to be a first-round pick. And look at him. He had a pretty good run this year. Malcolm Brogdon was another guy who slipped from the cracks. He wasn't even and Draft Express and all these scouting websites. He wasn't even top 30. And this kid is potential running for Rookie of the Year. So he's a finalist. So many steals. I think we got one with Josh Hart. Love that kid from Villanova, man. I'm excited to see what he does, too, in the Summer League. And we're rolling deep now. I mean, we got Lonzo because he could ball. And then we got, Josh because he has a lot of heart. You feel me? So, Kyle Kuzma, hopefully I'm not that high on him. But like I said, I like his talents. I like his versatility. He's lacking a little bit of athleticism. I like athletes. I like speed and athleticism. But, hey. He could be the next Boris Diaw or maybe a different kind of player. I don't know. We'll have to see. The Lakers have surprised us before. I don't know who the heck Larry Nance was. Out of Wyoming, I was like, Larry Nance Jr. I know that's, Larry Nance's son, like the senior, but I didn't know who he was as a player. I didn't really get to watch him. He's coming out from a smaller school. So, it's interesting, guys. Let's see if we got a steal or two or maybe even three from this draft. Magic Johnson continues to work his magic. I'm sure he's still going to be trying to get Paul George. Maybe we got all these extra players to try to entice the Indiana Pacers to make a deal with us. I don't know. But something has to be in the works. If it's not, I am happy with this new roster. I think we're going to go in this year. We're going to compete. We might win like 10 more games or maybe 5 or 6. I'd be happy as long as it's an improvement. And I can't wait to see what Brandon Ingram does July 7th. Another key date, of course, is July 1st because of free agency. And then we'll go from there, guys. But I'll definitely be keeping you guys updated. We're going to be keeping tabs on the workouts, interviews, everything. Keep it locked right here. All things Lakers. I appreciate you guys for sticking with me for those 3 hours in the live stream. All the comments and everything, man. You guys make it fun. Otherwise the draft can drag out a little bit longer. But I appreciate you guys, man. If you guys already haven't subscribed, and like I said, man, much love to you guys. Keep it locked right here, guys. Peace out.